So remember, I started off saying I spent 2 days, 2 really good days, out of commission. I still have kind of a thing, right? So we are completely going to wing it when it comes to all of these. Uh, you may or may not get memes, is what I'm saying. Is just, yeah, you know it's going to be a thing. But enough about dead people. Uh, I love you in my own weird way. Stay dead, please. That sounded really tacky. That sounded horrible. Um, I was really just talking about zombies because I do that. What I was, um, he's laughing his ass off right now. I can tell you that straight up. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, that's why I'm throwing in my hey, stay dead, because I do. Excuse me. Um, uh, the stay dead or the no zombies part. You want my permission to use what? I mean, because if we're talking about the sprinkling glitter and the bed thing, that's just, I mean, that's just like opportunity. How can you miss that shit, right? Oh, sure, whatever. Uh, I I don't. You'll know if I copyright something, yeah, or trademark it. I guess you trademark slogans. I don't know. Anyway, point is, let's talk about something slightly less morbid and strangely also. I love you. Stay dead, please. Yeah. Um, but also actually just as morbid now that I'm sitting here thinking about it. Great. Yeah, so we to get back to our topic and to refresh our memory, this is the new tarot card for uh, this year because you know it how we do. Now, last time we talked about dating in the time of COVID, and the upshot was please stay online. I don't remember exactly where we left off. I'll be totally fair because was unconscious all weekend. Well, out of commission, we'll say. I was in pain and begging for death, but that was neither here nor there. So I'm going to assume that my notes are correct. Um, are my notes correct? I certainly hope so. Okay, so we went through dating, using dating apps, the different types of dating apps to use. You made your big master document. You copied and pasted what you needed for different apps here and there. But the main upshot was here's how to figure out who you am so you know how to put your authentic self out there again without overstepping your boundary and becoming, you know, serial killer food. Just saying. Um, Now, what's the next step? All right. So we talked about your first communications. Yes, those things. Yeah, the brain has not really been very on the button this weekend. I'm working on it though. I'm doing much better than I was yesterday. I can actually get up without hurting myself by falling down. All right. So let's pick up. Let's say, oh my God, you met somebody and they're amazing. That's great. You're still gonna have to stay online for a while. Okay, so here's the deal. You do need to stay online for a while, okay? And I don't mean, oh, you have to text. Texting is bullshit. If you are that into somebody that you're like, you know what, we really, we agree, this is an amazing thing, take it to the next level and exchange phone numbers, which I know sounds weird, but that means that you can video chat. And if you're going to video chat, like ridiculously sexy stuff, do it with Signal. It is an end-to-end encryption chat program, and if you put it on your phone, you can do video chats. I'm just saying, it doesn't go through somebody else's server to get picked up by who the fuck knows who. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that physical contact is a huge part of many, many, many relationships. I get that. I really, really understand that. However, cooties are real things. And especially now, if you're using my extremely wise and considered advice, shit's about to get worse. Coronaviruses, and there are a lot of coronaviruses, okay? So just in case y'all aren't 100% in the know, a coronavirus is merely a virus that is shaped a certain way. It is a ball and is covered with little spiky things that look like a corona. As in, yes, it 18 other ones. Really? Really, Gryphon? Oh, and he put a little penis on there. The penis stands for Rush Limbaugh. So, oh, I'm sorry, that's a smiley face. I guess it's only a penis if there's an 8 in front of it. But, oh my goodness, I'm blushing. But the thing is, coronaviruses happen every year, and they love warm, dry air, like the kind that happen when it's cold outside and everybody likes to stay inside and turn on their heaters. Yeah. Like's about to happen because it's September. Wyoming's already gotten their first very large batch of snow. As have many other places, but I really only hear about Wyoming because that's where I still know like 3 people who like to complain about the snow. So, as of right now, you really need to take a very long, oh, excuse me, we had an amazing dinner. Take a very long sort of view towards your first physical contact, and ideally make it even more amazing. Now there are 2 minds about this, and I'm going to address both of them. The first one is, if you stay online and you do things longer, then it's going to be more amazing when you meet in person, except that sometimes you build up a lot of expectation online and then you meet in person and it turns out you just don't have a lot of chemistry. Yes, that do happen. No joke. It's a real thing. So I would actually, if everybody's on board, do your best to stay as cootie free as possible. Now there are some specific guidelines for that, and There are and specific man, I love it when I can't do a damn thing with my face. There are specific tests that you fucking seriously? God damn. There are specific steps that you can go through in order to make sure that you and your intended lover are not going to give each other the bad cooties. First things first, you go to your doctor, your primary care physician, and you put out, and you go, Doc, I need to get tested for the Rona. And you go, oh, are you running a fever? No, but I got this cough. That's how I got tested for the Rona. Truth of fact, I actually just had really, really shitty ass allergies. True story. But I am around vulnerable kids, you know, because I teach here in the house. And the reason that I teach here in the house with my own kids is because they're all vulnerable. You know, obviously short stack. And I just don't, you know, I absolutely refuse to endanger them. That's why they're here. So I just wanted to double check, you know, as I'm snotting all over the place and sneezing my brains out and all that crap. I'm like, Doc. Well, actually, what I said was, hey, Doc, I'm sneezing my brains out. Can I get a Rona test? Because I got vulnerable kids. And he's like, oh, do you have any symptoms? I'm like, no, not. Why? And he goes, do you have a cough? And I said, why? Yeah. Obviously, try really hard to make sure that your insurance will cover it. But you want to make sure that you both start off negative, okay? And then as much as possible, avoid any exposure. So if you like want to see if you guys have the chemistry, if you want to see if you got the lightning, the zing, the okay, this is all right, cool, man, then you get that test, make sure it's negative, and as soon as possible after that, again, without risking exposure, you know, meet up. And then wear a mask, social distancing, all that other stuff, especially if there's going to be anybody else around. Like, oh, but it's fine if it's outside. Not if somebody sneezes immediately. Upwind from you? My cup looks like the glitter special effects from the Star Trek border. Really? Really? Oh, you know what? It totally does. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Awesome. Maybe that's how they did it. You don't know. Anyway, near you. I'm just gonna go with near you. If somebody sneezes near you, you know, they could be cootie carriers. You don't know. Water. I'm drinking water. All right. So, if you both get a test and you come up negative, awesome. Okay, as quickly as possible after that, so that you have minimal signs of the Rona, meet. Okay, the thing is, it's really hard to organize that, especially if you do things like go into the out. Now, if you work from home, or like many these days, you are unemployed, then you definitely have, you know, some advantage there. If you have to go to an office or something, well, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, except, you know, wash your hands, stay away from people, wear a mask, and spray people with Lysol. Not that it actually helps to cut back on the Rona, but it definitely keeps them the fuck away from you. I mean, I carry mine everywhere. Because I mean, here's the thing, and I'm not even gonna try to minimize this. I was trying to figure out a way to like make it ultimately safe, and really this is the only way, because you just know you got to get it the fuck out of the way. You met somebody, they're amazing, you've been chatting for like 2-3 weeks, you both got your Rona test, you're like, oh my god, I gotta see if this is a thing. A kiss, definitely kiss on your first date. You got to do the thing. If you're both safe, you're both tested negative, swap the spit, man, because you need to get it out of the way. You need to make sure that it's something that is going to be worth pursuing, because chances are you're not really going to be able to get back together very soon after that, unless you are like immediately planning on shacking up. And I do not recommend. There's an entire culture of lesbians from 1982 until mostly now that will tell you how terrible immediate shack up culture is. You know, that whole joke about what does a lesbian bring on her second date? A moving van. For a while, that was a real thing. Okay, I know I sound like an asshole, but I'm totally going to back this up. It wasn't always a thing, but it was a lot of thing. Oh, it's so hard to get my head to do the thing. You know what? I'm going to get into it later. We're not going to have gay history lesson just yet, but I can totally make it a thing. All right. So we'll do it later. I'm saying don't do it. It's a really, really good way to have a lot of really bad relationships. Definitely kiss on the first date if you're both proven to be totally cootie free. All right, hold hands, the whole nine yards. Just like don't touch anything else, and that's where it really gets to be tough. Okay, like you got to learn how to be super uber crazy OCD freaky paranoid, kind of like me. So like I'm a firm believer in like the wash your hands before, wash your hands after, wash your hands during, like 4 times. When you're afraid of getting exposed or picking up some sort of naughtiness. So if you meet up somewhere, you know, absolutely, you guys wear masks on your way there. Make sure you guys are someplace safe and clean and sanitize. Please don't in the doctor's office. That's weird. I mean, because, I mean, have you seen porno? It's not okay. And that's not at all what it looks like. It does not work that way at all. Okay? No. There's dangerous things in there. But sanitize your space, okay? Like, if you're going to meet up at somebody's house, or you're going to meet up in a restaurant, or you're going to meet up in, you know, who the heck knows where. I don't know. Where else do people meet up these days? I don't know. Sanitize it, you know, wipe it down, use your Clorox wipes, Lysol the shit out of it, everything like that, because everything that you touch potentially becomes an infection vector. That's why when we get groceries from the out delivered, because really it's because I'm just lazy and I hate going to the grocery store, but yay, Corona virus is you have to wipe everything down. Okay, so we have like a little thing of Clorox wipes that we guard it so dearly, and we wipe down all of our bags and everything, and then we wash all of our hands, and yeah, just to put the groceries away. And if I don't like the looks of the person who delivered my groceries, I'll wipe down everything that came in the house. Damn good thing those banana have skins, huh? So you just have to be super careful. And there's a couple of different reasons why you have to be super careful. The first is, of course, the Rona sucks. The second is everybody has been in the side and nobody has been going out. And that means our immune systems are weirder than ever before. So here's something that people don't tell you about too often. Did you know that the first time you kiss someone and or have the sex, you will very most likely get sick, especially if you do a lot of tonsil hockey. It's just a thing that's going to happen. You're going to get a sore throat, you're going to get a little cough, you might get a little bit of nasal congestion, and it's like, oh, well, I must be coming down with something. No, you came down with the other person, honey. It's totally natural. It's actually their cooties and your cooties duking out. Duking it out. Yes, that. It happens all the time. Until your two biomes, I forgot the other word, but we're just going to go with biomes for now because it's fun to say. I love saying biomes. Until your two biomes are in homeostasis. Okay? And then you don't get sick anymore. All right? So you're going to be dealing with that. You don't want to deal with something else, and you definitely don't want to be dealing with a third party. Ugh. Oh, by the way, it's also about to be flu season. Get your shots. That is the way to have a safe first physical meeting. Your second physical meeting should be a while later. Again, get tested again. Oh, excuse me. Oh, my stars and garters. You do obviously need to be tested again unless you have had like zero chance of exposure. Kind of like we do here. Nobody leaves the house, but we're introverts. We like it that way. Seriously? COVID is like the best thing to happen to our lifestyle, our personal lifestyle, because we don't have to see people unless we really want to, and we never do. You know, it's cool. We did have to upgrade to a faster internet service though. Where's the rest of my notes? Oh, right. Just remember, if you can actually work and earn money from home. If you can't work and earn money from home, it kind of sucks dick. But remember also, you know, that oh my gosh, if you guys can stay without exposure, minimize exposure, you still want to wait at least 2 weeks after you've met up. Yes. We here have been very lucky in every possible way. It's been amazing. But remember that after you meet up, you need to stay away for at least 2 weeks. Quarantine yourselves for at least 2 weeks. Make sure that you don't have any symptoms pop up or anything like that. If you're like, you know what, I really don't want to, I don't want to swap in the kisses and stuff. They're just like, hold hands. That's cool. Wash them. Don't touch your face. You know, if you're not ready to play the tonsil hockey, I get it. Hold hands, that's fine. Hey, touch is an enormously powerful thing. Enormously powerful. But I just touched his elbow. Yes, wash your fucking hands. All right. Remember, 20 seconds. It's like the entire first intro to Welcome to the Black Parade, okay? sing it all in your head and go all the way up to the transition if you have to, if you're worried you're doing it too fast. Okay, so at some point I will be sharing a whole bunch of stuff that the CDC shared. And I just have to say, I never thought ever in my time, talking about doing like actual sexy things, I never in my life thought I would ever see the day when the CDC actually recommended glory holes. I'm sure that's not what they meant, but that's what all of us who know anything about anything saw that as. Now, safer sex practices are always going to be top of the everything. My recommendation, my very strong recommendation, okay, you've both tested. Oh, Talia, you sweet, sweet summer child. You know what? I'll send you the link. It's kind of hilarious. All right. So here is, I thought about this so many different ways. I'm like, how can people really do this safe? You both tested negative, but you want to make sure that there's no chance of anything with any, safer stuff. Safer sex practices are always the best. All right. Yeah, I know. I'm like, someone used to live in San Francisco. I can tell. Or was really, really big in the New York leather scene. I'm pretty sure it was the second one, actually, because I think it came out of New York. Yeah. All right. So, safer sex practices are always going to be top of the marks, all right? You want to use dental dams. You want to use condoms. All right, I'm gonna say this right now because every time I bring up condoms, somebody says something stupid. So I'm just going to cover this right now. No, 2 condoms is not better than 1. 1 condom that fits is fine. But no condom is going to be worth a shit if you use crappy ass lubricant. All right. Also, please do not use spermicidal lubricant pretty much ever because it actually causes microabrasions on all of the surfaces, and that contributes to more communication of all kinds of diseases, not just COVID. Oh, just in case you were wondering, yes, COVID can actually be transmitted sexually. And I do mean like all the different ways. I would say if you absolutely had to get it on, get it on. Definitely use your condoms, dental dams, gloves if you need to. And if you're worried about having come into contact, that is spermicidal lubricant. No, don't ever use them. So here's the thing. Okay, spermicide should be used, honestly, almost never. Unless you are completely, it's, okay. What we currently know about the COVID-19 virus, let me take a step back here. What we currently know about the COVID-19 virus is that it likes to affect the blood, okay? Can it be Can it be passed from blood contact? We think yes. However, blood is actually not the best medium for a lot of different types of viruses based on their shape, based on how they like to infect. It still prefers mucus, it still prefers saliva, it still prefers almost anything. And of course, as we know, there is, the vaginal lining, ejaculate, that's all a mucousy, semi-viscous medium. Words are hard tonight. Give me a minute, okay? Blood, not so much. Blood has different types of pHs that really kind of mess with transmission. That's not to say you can't get it from blood contact, okay? It does affect the blood. In fact, what they found out, originally they thought that this was a respiratory illness because the lungs, are you having trouble breathing? Yeah, but what they found out when they started actually doing autopsies was that it was not, the lungs weren't filling up with fluid like they do with traditional pneumonia. They were filling up with blood clots. And a lot of the organ failure that we're seeing, that's all blood clots. And a lot of the extra things that happen that are excuse me, that are just like totally freaking weird, like 21-year-olds dying from a stroke, blood clot. So it has this coagulant effect on the blood, but that can be manifest in a lot of different ways. One of the other things is that it doesn't just have to be bloodborne. It's actually an active virus that affects the digestive system. That's why they ask also, do you have any nausea? Do you have any diarrhea? It's found, active virus is found in feces. That's why anal isn't any safer. And when we're specifically talking about spermicide, first of all, I'm a big, I just don't support it. It's just, when it comes to birth control, it's more trouble than it's worth, in my opinion. Okay? Some people don't necessarily agree with me. I get that. That's fine. However, in my opinion, as a woman who has experienced spermicidal lubricants and has researched them, because I research all of the birth control because what I do, it's just not worth it, and in this particular case, when we're looking at the potential for for this virus to find itself in this really nice, warm, tasty, mucousy area, and then something happens, because there's always the potential something happens, and oh, hey, we can go straight into the bloodstream from here. Awesome. With our nice little mucousy little pod in here, I just think it's a recipe for disaster. So let's not. Just saying. This is not a statement that is proven or tested, as far as I know, yet by the CDC or anybody else. It's just kind of a common sense leap. And I would much rather make a common sense leap on the safe side than the not. So if both of you have tested negative, do all the safe, because do all the safe anyway. Come on, guys. Until you are completely committed and ready to fluid bond as partners for. Are you having ice cream without me? I can hear you. Oh my God. Son of a. Oh. And you thought you were being quiet too. That's what's hilarious. had to move his office, and now he's right behind me. Anyway, um, so yeah, I don't support spermicide at all because it's just too dangerous. You know, there's too many different ways it can go horribly, horribly wrong because the effect that it creates causes as much damage to the tissues of both partners as really not using anything. It just causes way too much damage. Um, and sets you up to be to contract. Oh, I knew I was going to find the word eventually. Oh, there it is. Got it. Yes. So spermicidal lubricants, because of the tissue damage that they cause, actually set up both partners to contract far worse things than they prevent, because they really only prevent pregnancy. And as we were talking before about bodies not being in homeostasis, it's possible to contract an infection from your partner when there is no STD, active STD, like, you know, chlamydia or gonorrhea or anything like that. It's just, you know, it can just be pHs being off by a little bit, and you guys, you know, have a severe case of vaginosis, or I don't, I don't remember what the male equivalent of that is. It hurts when you pee, and you have an infection, but it's nothing specific, you know, and that can be a thing. So skip it. Much better is to use, you know, high quality condoms. Make sure that they're not expired. Make sure that you use water-based lubricant. Did I make that clear? Water-based. It has to be safe for the condom. Water-based lubricant. If you use oil-based, well, you know what? Just don't can use anything at all, because clearly you wanted something to go wrong. Oh, but if you, sometimes there are silicone-based lubricants that are condom safe. You just have to read on the label, okay? So that is a very important thing. Educate, educate, educate. Oh my goodness. I missed my afternoon coffee. And remember also that in addition to dental dams and condoms, there's also gloves. Big fan, huge fan of the nitrile exam gloves. Fantastic. Again, please, you know, from what I've read about the female condoms, here's what I understand about the research so far. Vaginas are actually have far more range of size than penises, which I know sounds weird, but it's because of how high up the cervix. It's not a width thing. It's like how high up the cervix sits, and it's different. First of all, at different periods in the cycle. Okay, which I know is like sounds redundant, but it's not. You know, because when a woman is closer to ovulation, when she's at sort of the height of her menstrual cycle, her full cycle, it's soft, high, open, and wet, right? And when she's getting closer to the menstrual part of things, then it's going to be low, it's going to be hard. And so trying to fit that so that it works every single time, it's kind of a freaking nightmare. I swear, it's really like the guys that, and I say that, the guys that tried to develop the female condoms weren't really chicks. I say the same for bras. So I really like the tried and true. I really, really like to stick with it. Now, if you find a female condom that works for you and you like, knock yourself out, sunshine. But um, from what I read, and understand I haven't done recent research on it, uh, because it's so hard to fit, they have a much greater chance of folding and tearing, which, you know, why the hell are you wearing it in the first place? And to me, the larger and more important advantage is you can inspect a penis that has a condom on it. It's really hard to inspect a vagina. I mean, you know, unless you have a speculum, and then what the fuck's the point, right? So, yeah, I haven't seen a lot of great research about, a lot of great results about female condoms. I look forward to it. But then again, maybe one day a woman can go in and ask for tubal ligation at 23 before she's had any children, and they'll just say, okay. That'll probably be about the same time. So we got some years. You know, condom, penis, penis, condom. But also, because we were talking about safer sex practices and not just safe, nitrile gloves, dental dams, and you know, honestly, if you're really, really worried, you both tested negative, all right, nobody has the Rona, and you want to be super careful. First, maybe the first time you guys are having sex, do it in the shower. Still being safe, obviously, with, you know, all the safer everything, because safe sex. Now, here's the thing. Even with everything we've talked about and taking all the precautions and being careful and washing and showering and everything and safer and all of the honest to God, safest 100%, no chance anything can go horribly, horribly wrong, and still get your tootsies off, is mutual masturbation. No contact mutual masturbation. It's all the rage. I mean, so some guys are, some people are talking about sexting or doing video chat sex or stuff, which is where we get back into the whole, hey guys, there's a thing called Signal. You want to download it for your phone. Because you don't want people bombing into your streams there and on your Facebooks and catching you doing the naughty. It's way too easy to get into those things. You don't want to know how bad it is. You really, really, really don't. No, that is the 100% safest way to, one, not get knocked up, two, not communicate any type of disease, and three, still get your tootsies off. It's kind of fun. So, I strongly suspect and encourage that we turn this into the new norm and not just some weird fetish that some people have had for a while. The plus is that it really is. Masturbation is actually much more intimate than intercourse. Fight me. So here's to elaborate on what Talia is saying. So let's talk about what intimacy actually is. I think we've talked about this a little bit before, but intimacy is about being vulnerable and about trust. And it's one thing to, you know, get into each other's intercourse is weird. Of course, intercourse is weird to me anyway, coming from the background that I come from, which is not any way, shape, or form straight. I mean, who am I kidding here? You know, I mean, yeah, I've had straight sex, I guess a few times, but but the thing is, when you're having intercourse, when you're having penetration, when you're having, you know, any type of only 6 times, you know, maybe. Wait, how many tattoos do I have? Um, it's really hard to decide when you're in that moment if you are focused on yeah, that's what I was saying. How many tattoos do I have? It's really hard to focus sometimes on whether you are pursuing your orgasm or you are pursuing your partner's orgasm. And you know, there's this, and maybe this is just for me, but as I've talked with it a few times with a lot of different people, it kind of goes back and forth. And you know, I hear people a lot of times going, yeah, right? Like, what's up with that? And you can negotiate it, I guess. But um, you know, you worry about your orgasm, or you worry about your partner's orgasm, or and you know, and you have to get your head in the right place, and you really kind of, it's really hard to decide which side you want to be on. Okay, yeah, we're doing all right. Whereas if you are doing mutual masturbation, and later once you are playing with each other, you can focus exclusively on your partner's experience or on your own experience, receiving that experience from your partner. Now, when you're early in a relationship, like we're talking about here in the times of the Rona, um, you get to sort of decide how vulnerable you want to be with your partner. You get to decide how, oh, goodness gracious me, I'm slipping. You get to decide what kind of fantasy you want to share. You know, talk about things. I mean, honestly, I think it's really, really hard to text and do this because, I mean, I can type pretty well with one hand, but eventually I'm going to need two, man. It's just how it goes. So I like the phone or video is probably better for this practical long-term application. I'm just saying. It's purely from a common sense perspective. Um, so you get to talk about your fantasies. You get to talk about what works for you. You get to try different things out. And you get to share that in a way that's absolutely safe. You know, you don't have to worry so much about um, somebody in the moment going, what did you say? Wait, what? Um, you know, no, 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 no. What? I'm just so glad I got to use that meme. Okay, shut up. um, you know, you get it is much more intimate. You get to talk about things beforehand. You get to decide, you know, well, what are we going to fantasize about tonight? Brain? I don't know. You know what I mean. I lost my uh, jive there for a minute. Um, and it can't even be that, you know, you set that tone for each other, and you don't have to worry about. Did I clip my fingernails? I mean, worry about it for you, obviously. But if it doesn't bother you, it's not a big deal. Um, show off the things you like I said, talk about the things you like I said, and you get to really, actually, I would say explore things more thoroughly than you would if you're in person. Because it's really weird when you're in person, there is almost a larger fear of awkwardness and embarrassment. You know, I can tell you from experience that finding out somebody is into the wrong way is a little weird when you're like, oh, and can I please have my shirt back? Nope. All right. Sometimes that's worth it. But I am also a person who has had absolutely no problem on a third or fourth foray with person that she knows very well going, you know what, this isn't doing it for me, I'm out. You're what? I can't get it up, man. Sorry, I'm out. But no motivation. Not just to be an asshole or anything like that. Usually other horrible, horrible things had to have happened before that. But it is a thing that has happened. So explore that idea, think about what it really means to you. And masturbation is something that is absolutely, absolutely vital. It is so, so important. If you cannot get yourself off, you have no business trying to get anybody else off, or any business trying to teach someone else what you like. Exploring your own sexuality should always be the first thing that you do before you try to have any type of sexual relations with anyone. And your sexuality evolves and changes as you grow. I'm not saying that one day you're just going to wake up queer, although I think sometimes that has happened, but not quite like that. But one day you may find out that, hey, that slap and tickle thing that just did it for you for so many years is just like, now I kind of want a tickle and a slap. It evolves, it changes. Some things are going to last forever, but not necessarily. If you don't let your fantasy world evolve, if you don't let your personal relationship with yourself from a self-love perspective evolve, you're not doing yourself any favors, sunshine. All right. Let me see. All right, I am going to take us a little bit further, and then I'm going to save next week. Next week is going to be dealing with rejection, because that is a thing that 100% happens. Yes, even to me. Like a lot to me, actually. So I don't want to make it sound like a thing, but no, like a lot. I'm a weirdo, and some people don't like weirdos. Oh well. And I got real butthurt for a while over it too, but that's next week. I'm gonna finish up this last thought, and then mop up with any questions you might have. So I want you to know that dating in the time of Rona is big and scary and hard, and has a lot of challenges that we have never fucking had to deal with on this level. But love is always the answer. Might not be dating, might not be being in love, might not even be having an intimate relationship, but love in some way is always the answer. You know, it's weird because we're talking about stuff like this in the middle of a pandemic, especially since it's probably not going to let up anytime soon. Just as a reminder, the Spanish flu, was it 1914, 1918, 1940? My brain's mush. Shut up. In the early 1900s. Yeah, that shit went on for a few years because people were stupid. And let me ask you if this sounds familiar. People were stupid and they didn't want to wear masks. And people got up in arms and like made clubs about not wearing masks. A lot of fucking people died. Is this ringing any bells? Right? We're not doing much better. Oh, but there's a vaccine just around the corner. Honey, not sure if it's comforting that people have always been... Yeah, I'm not sure what your definition of comforting is. I mean, at least they're consistent. I was hoping for better. That's just me. But the thing is, it's not going to let up anytime soon. Yes, we have vaccines in the pipeline. It takes at least 18 months for any vaccine to pass safety tests. Even if it works, it could still fucking kill ya. And it's not like we as a nation have ever had to not deal with ongoing pandemics for which we did not have vaccines. Polio. Yeah. Sorry. But the thing is, love is always the answer. And especially right now, when we are staring down the double barrel shitstorm, 2020. Feelings of depression and isolation and loss and separation, that shit's fucking real. And it's dangerous. It's super, super fucking damaging. If we feel like we can't do anything about meeting people, if we feel like we can't do anything to expand beyond our boundaries, we're a little fucked. Like, really bad. And I get it. Human touch is so, so important. I get it. There is a way to do it safely. But, you know, I was just talking about the Spanish flu. I was just talking about polio, you know, measles. Oh my God. Like, chicken pox can fucking kill a man. No joke. If you don't get it as a kid and you get it as a grup, that's why a lot of adults have to have the varicella vaccine if they never had chicken pox as a kid, because that has not been a vaccine for very long. I didn't get a varicella vaccine. I got the goddamn chicken pox, you know? Here's something that we've got that none of those other motherfuckers had. We have technology on our side. We have video screens, and we have the internet, and we have phones, and we have, iPads, and we have all kinds of things at our disposal. We have internet controlled sex toys. Just saying, it's a thing. And honestly, I don't have we I could literally go on for hours about all the kinds of things we have that is technology on our side. I know. I know. But there are tons of people who hang on to this idea that if you don't meet in person and if your relationship isn't 99 to 100% in person, it's not real. Fuck you and fight me, bitch. Some of the most powerful, intense, and long lasting relationships of my life, hi Talia, have happened 95 to 100% online. No joke. I might cry. I'll tell you straight up. When my buddy Jack died, Talia, you remember Jack? When he died, I was a fucking wreck. My own brother might as well have died. That's how fucking horrible it was. And we never even met in person. Knew him for years. I was ready to give the son of a bitch one of my kidneys. That is not a joke. That is not a euphemism. I just couldn't get I just couldn't get all the pieces together fast enough. Don't even know if I would have been a match, but goddamn it, I wanted to try. Dude, I've performed multiple weddings for people who met first online. I have moved heaven and earth for people who lived on the other side of the goddamn planet. And you know, sometimes they've done the same for me. Sometimes relationships do better online than in person. My very, very sweet mama tat, man, we spend hours talking and chatting online, and we've gotten each other in like 3 or 4 different chats, you know? I think we've met in person like 4 times, and one of those was for her son's funeral. And that was another one of those where I am still kind of a wreck. I took care of the kid like a few times, you know? It doesn't matter. So don't you dare fucking try to tell me that a relationship online isn't just as goddamn valid and important as one that happens face to face. Because you're wrong. The only thing that's going to make a difference is how much you're willing to believe in the human on the other side. If you are willing to individuate, to recognize that every single screen has a human on the other side, and if you represent yourself as a full human being on this side of the screen, then apparently I talk with my hands a lot because that's my 5,000 steps. Then you're fine. You will have deep, meaningful, passionate, beautiful, healing, gorgeous relationships. I know I absolutely have. I would not be nearly as strong. I would not be nearly as confident, as educated, I wouldn't be nearly the person I was. Without my very real online relationships. Now, I have lots of different stories from lots of other people who met their others online and who did chat rooms for years, and there might even be some present. But I'm not going to tell their story. That's not my job. I can just tell my story. So I'm going to leave this here tonight, okay? We have got to do the very best with what we've got right now. Arm yourself. We've got the arsenal. Arm yourself with the very best tools and information and the tips that you've got, and and baby, you're just gonna be all right. Okay? Now, does anybody have any questions? You want to share a little story or anything like that? I'll read it right here, Yeah, I gotta get a tissue. Ooh, sorry. Oh. Yeah, that's a great question. And no, he did not. The question is, just in case this gets edited weird at some point, did the XX hubby and his luck with strippers have anything to do with nice shoes and watches? No. The son of a bitch wore ratty ass fucking wrestling shoes and the cheapest, most ridiculous, often gaudy, but not in the way you'd think, not blingy, but skulls and coffins and shit, Gothy boy was gothy. No, he was just weird. Maybe it's because he always went broke and is like, dude, I ain't got shit for shit. He did not. Actually, he had stubby little hands. One thing of mine he could not wear were my gloves. Because they just bunched up. It was awful. Oh, no, he was just, he had that kind of eat shit and die attitude, and he didn't show up broke. It's not a fair assessment. He'd bring a little cash, I guess, but it's just whatever, yeah, yeah. Hey, look, boobs, seen them. And they're like, what? I can't. I watched it happen. I couldn't fucking explain it. Not that time, obviously. Other times, but wow. Definitely wasn't that charming with me most of the time. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, okay, that last big try not to cry is kind of fucking with me pretty hard, guys. So, I am going to say this. Next week, we are going to be talking about dealing with rejection, including the reasons people get rejected. We will be talking about I have mentioned frequently that in order for you to really put yourself out there, you need to uh, be your authentic self. Uh, and sometimes, no, not that much, not that authentic. You need to step some authenticity back. We'll talk about what that line is. Excuse me. I was talking a lot this morning, teaching, and it's catching up. Need some tea, like actual tea with like tea bags and hot water and stuff, not like reality. Um, so we're going to be talking about that. And that is actually going to be getting into the first of probably many discussions about toxic relationships, because a lot of times we don't realize when we are being toxic, and we don't realize when we are enabling toxicity. Um, and there are a few um, guardrails that you kind of want to learn about before you really get out there, and especially in terms of online and internet dating. You're being very, hang on a second, you're being very patient. I did promise her, come here. I did promise her some lap time, so hey, look, smile for the camera. She's like, screw you, I just want your boob. She likes to hide in the boob so that she can go to sleep. But we do want to talk about how you might inadvertently enable toxic relationships, how to catch that, especially in the online. The cat wins the internet every time. How you can catch that before you start building it, how to watch yourself online during your interactions, because typing things on the internet lasts forever, but also learning how to walk something back when you've made a mistake. So I think that is where we are for now. You're a pushy bitch and I love you.